Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla.
I'm Zee Garcia.
And today we're going to be taking a look at Manatee Santuary. This is a card game that can be played up to 6 players out of this box, but there's 2 separate editions which are exactly the same. But if you combine them, you can play up to 12 people. So we're taking a look here at the Sea Cow edition. If your box looks a little bit different and it says Mermaid edition, no, it's the exact same game, just going to be a little bit different cover. But let's dive in, talk about how it's going to play, and then we'll let you know if this one is worth taking a look at. In Manatee Santuary, players are going to be building their own Manatee Sanctuary here in order to try to score the most points. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the Sea Cow edition. There is also a Mermaid edition. The gameplay and components are exactly the same. It is just if you have both copies, the Sea Cow and the Mermaid edition, then you can play up to 12 players instead of just the 6 that come in each box. The only other difference is the Sea Cow one is going to have a cow icon here, and of course the Mermaid would have a mermaid. So if you have both, you just mix them together and play with more players. So that's it. This is Sea Cow edition. If you're interested, get whichever one is interesting or available to you. They are the same other than that. All right, so like I said, players are going to be building their own Manatee Sanctuary in which they are going to be building it up and also making scoring opportunities for themselves. It's going to be played over 3 separate rounds, in which case we're going to go through these 4 different phases. The first one is going to be to draft the card. Everyone is going to start with 5 cards, and you're going to be looking at them, and you're going to make 2 piles. You have to have at least 1 in each pile, but they can be 2 and 3 or 1 and 4, however you want to do that. So you're going to make your 2 piles. At that point, you're going to pass them to the person in the first round on your right. In the second round, you'll go to the left, and third again, you'll go to the right again. So you would pass these over to that player, and then you're going to get cards as well. When you get 2 cards, or two groups of cards, you're going to look at them and decide which one you want. Whichever one you want, you're going to put down below your board, and the one to return, you're going to put on your top. After that, you will do that. You're going to return these to the person that handed them to you, and then you'll, of course, get the other ones back that the person you gave them to didn't want, which is going to leave you with a handful of cards. This will be anywhere between 2 cards and 8 cards, depending on how those piles were distributed and what you kept and passed back. As you look at your cards, you're going to move into the expand and actions part right here. This will be simultaneous once again. Everyone's going to have a starting card, so you would put that out. And you're going to be looking at all the cards, either for their top or their bottom action. If it is the bottom action, you're going to place that into your Manatee Sanctuary over here, like this, in order to build it out. On the cards, you're going to see a number in the middle. This is how many manatees can be housed on that specific card. And then you're making these flowers as well, which are going to, in a second, we'll see how that makes food. Each time you make a flower connection like this, you're going to move your completed flowers token up 1. So let's say I would do that, and then perhaps I want to go ahead and make a purple one as well. And so I would put this one down here. I'm going to go ahead and move that up again. And then let's see, do I have one that'll fit there? I don't have one that will fit there. I do have one. So let's say that I want to do one more and do just this. And as you're seeing, you always do have to tuck under something. But I have now 3 completed flowers. The other thing you can do with these cards is you can look at the top actions and play them for their top actions. As you do that, you're going to play them onto this side of the board. If you see this icon, this is how you are going to create food. You're going to create food equal to the number of completed flowers. So in this case, I'm taking the action once. I have 3 flowers. I would get 3 food. This one, once again, you're going to make some food. Let's say I want to do that one first. I would get 3 more food. And then this here means you're going to draw a manatee from the bag. So I would take in the bag here, and I would draw a manatee out, and I can house that wherever. The manatees are going to have different requirements. For example, the yellow manatee, if we look down here at our board, they require 2 spaces. So even though this can house 2, this one is worth 2 because they're super playful and need some extra room. So this card here is now full and cannot have another manatee. However, if I had 2 gray, for example, later on, they can both go in the same one, and now that one is full. If you ever have any yellow manatees on your board, when you would draw a manatee, you have to draw an additional one. So let's say it looked like this right here. I played a card that makes me draw one. I would draw the 2 out of the bag, and then 1 additional ones, because I have a yellow one out there, and again, I have to place that. I'm going to go ahead and put it on that 2 card right there. So this is what it would look like at this point. And you can do any combination, any order of playing the cards here or building out your sanctuary. After that, and all players have taken this action, we go into the feed. You have to feed all of your manatees that you have, and there's a little player aid here. The pink ones require 2 food, and the gray and the yellow require 1 food. So in this case, I would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6. I feed them, I'm good. If you cannot feed one, it has to go back in the bag, and you're going to lose 2 points up here on the board. Everyone starts at 10 points, so you do have a little bit of flexibility there. After everyone feeds, you go into the final stage of the round, which is going to be scoring, and you look at the manatees on your board and get the points accordingly. So in the first round, the gray and the yellow are worth 3. I would have 3, 6, 9 points, so I'm going to go up to 17 points there. And again, you would do that for all your manatees. After that, we're going to go into another round. So we're going to flip this token over, go into the second round, give everyone 5 new cards. Again, draft, expand and take actions, feed, score 3 times through until you get to the end of the game. Highest points are going to win at that point. The only other thing that comes in the box here are going to be this advanced mode, which is just going to give you additional scoring each round. So for example, this one here, if it is in the first round, is 3 points for every purple flower that you have. So that first round, I would have gotten 3 additional points here. And so you would just choose one of these that's a first round one. You would choose one of these for each of them, just in order to have some different scoring opportunities, but that is the advanced mode. That's going to do it here for Manatee Sanctuary. Let's go back up top and we'll talk about my thoughts. We recently had a discussion here in the office about how the box cover is one of the most important elements of the game, and that's going to help really just if the game is going to get to the table or not.
Right.
And I think just so with that discussion in mind, I think this cover, and that extends to the game as well, and the production is very, very well done. It's very grabbing and fitting for this nature game.
Right. It grabs you. It pulls you in. You want to look at this. You want to flip the box over and see what's going on. Manatee Sanctuary has good connotations to it. You want to engage with it. I agree.
Right, and I think seeing the little smiling manatees on this box here too, it is a similar feeling that I think is evoked in this game.
Yep.
I think it is going to be much lighter than you might anticipate, unless you have watched this review or something like that. The first gameplay I went through it, I was impressed by how light the rule set is and how easy the rule book is to read and get through. So getting it to the table is pretty quick, and I was caught off guard with how light the rule set is.
I'll tell you one thing that caught me off guard was how puzzly the game was, actually. And I do think that maybe that'll catch people off balance. Seeing the cue cover, assuming, it says 1 through 6 players, 30 minutes, so you're thinking, okay, it's going to be a light game. And it is a light game in many ways, but it is a very puzzly game. It is one that you're going to feel like, oh, I might be making a mistake. Is this too much food or not enough food? Is this too many manatees or not enough manatees? I think the game is not as cozy as you think it might be, I guess, is my point.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I was going to go with that. It's kind of the emotional arc, like your own personal journey you go through this game. You read the rule set and you're like, oh, that's it? And then you play a first round, you're like, oh, that's it? I'm a third of the way through the game? And then it comes that second round, and there's these really tactical pivoting moments that you have to switch. Like, okay, I have a massive sanctuary and no manatees in it. Or I have all these manatees, my sanctuary's filled, but I have no food to feed them, And so you really have to puzzle through the balance of that. And so in that way, it is kind of at odds with itself.
A little bit.
It's really light, but very puzzly. So I think ultimately I kind of come down on this being almost a filler weight of a game, but I would never call it filler because it has more mental backing, or it needs more mental backing than a filler.
Right, and it's 30 minutes, but it's kind of demanding that you do, some juggling in there. I agree. And I do appreciate that this game has different ways for you to adjust how much you put into it. Like it has those cards that let you check for a new scoring opportunity at the end of every one of the rounds.
One of the modules.
One of the modules, yeah. Or you can just leave that stuff out. Don't even worry about it. And you shouldn't, by the way. You shouldn't put that stuff in right away. I like that. I like that you can tune up the involvement, the stuff to think about, that juggling, that mental, juggling is also pretty neat. But Yeah, you're right that it does feel, I don't know, it's hard to put my finger on it, but it feels to me slightly awkward with how demanding it is versus how long versus how involved versus the cozy feel, but not the cozy play. There's something slightly weird about it, much like a manatee is a weird thing.
They are. But in that case, it kind of is in its own category. I have a hard time categorizing this. But you talk about the way that the game allows you to scale that mental load.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite design choices in this is those cards. I love the drafting in this, first of all.
Yeah.
I think that is kind of the seller of the game here. That I split, you choose, but I might get part of those back. I think that the cards show those dots on the bottom for how strong they are. So if you don't feel like really putting a whole lot, well, what can you do? What do you want? Okay, well, if you don't want to overthink that I split, you choose mechanism, then just look at the dots and just try to make the two piles of equal dots and move the game on. It also is a great entry point for the game or for that mechanism if it's not something you're comfortable with, or you're playing with somebody who's maybe not familiar with it, or if you're just playing the game for the first time and you have no idea how to value these things.
Yes.
I love that. It is such a great way to ease the entry point and keep the game open to new players.
And those dots are integral when you are playing the solo mode, by the way, which is very fun. So you need to use that idea where you're drawing two cards. And you'll keep one and give one to this, AI, if you would. And then the dots matter. You want to keep the stronger card with more dots, then you're going to be penalized a little bit, and vice versa. If you keep the weaker card, you get a little boon. So they're part of the solo game, and they're necessary. But I love that they also are useful when you're just playing the multiplayer game and somebody doesn't really know how to evaluate things. Like you said, it's like, well, look at the dots. Try to balance the dots.
Now, on that note, I will say I have played this game at 2, 3, and 4, and I like it at all those player counts. I think it is I don't know that I would be able to choose a favorite player count. I think it scales really well. Again, I haven't played it up to 6, which is the max player count, but I can't see it really changing. And it's one of the few times that I'd be like, I could see myself taking this up to 12 maybe, at a big convention or something like that, not a standard way to play, but I don't foresee any problems with that. So I think that it scales really well, but I did not play the solo mode. So what did you think of that?
Yeah, I like the solo mode a lot. I thought it was really interesting. It has it's a very smooth solo mode. This game is not the most interactive game in the world, right, between players. So that idea of yes, the drafting has a little bit where I'm going to look at two things, two groupings, and give you one back, and I might look at what's going on with you and give you one back. But other than that, there's not a lot of interaction. This has a lot of solitaire feels already anyway, and I think the solo mode, sometimes in games, they make you jump through a lot of hoops to try to modify a thing to fit solo. This one is incredibly smooth to get you to solo. It's just draw a couple cards, give one up to the other side. You don't have to build anything with it. You don't have to do anything with it. Just put it over there. It'll modify how many points you get, positive or negative, at the end of your round. And then you just play your own game like you're playing in a regular, game. I really liked it. I thought it was great. It's a good way to, even if you're not normally a solo player, it'll be fun to practice the game. It's simple enough that you can just kind of practice understanding or getting better at evaluating how many sea cows do I need versus how much food versus, okay, let me keep practicing that. It's fun. I liked it a lot.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, with that, do you have final thoughts and want to go into a rating here?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a neat game. It's a little awkward, like I said, and I don't think it's ever going to become like a favorite game for me, but it's a neat way to do a 30-minute game that doesn't feel like a lot of 30-minute games with how much it's demanding me to solve a pretty thinky puzzle, actually. I enjoy the variability in it quite a bit. Also, you can definitely add things, add more stuff, and make that funky, give you more things to think about. I like it. I think it's a neat one. I'm going to come down to a 7.5 on this one. It's one I would recommend if you just be aware going in. It's a little misleading. The cover makes it look super, super cozy. It's not. It's more thinky than that. It's a strange beast. I like it. I think it's one I'm happy to play anytime. I do worry about its first impression, like what kind of impression will it make, and it could go either way, honestly. Like you could go, whoa, I was thinkier than I wanted. That's not really what I wanted. or you could feel like, oh, it's so solitary, I'm not interacting with anybody else at the table. I worry about that impression, but give it a couple of shots, and I think you might find that it's a really enjoyable game as well.
I'm there with you, very similar. I'm coming in at an 8 on this game. I do enjoy it, but I do wonder what that first impression is going to be like.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a journey with that first impression. Right. It reminds me mostly of another game we've taken a look at recently, A Place for All My Books.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
You're playing it and you're like, oh, this is so cozy. And then you're like, 10 minutes in the game, you're like, oh, hold on, let me think and rethink and readjust and organize, you know. So if you like that style of play, I think this is a fantastic game to check out because it is so unique and it is light and cozy and theme and not rules heavy and you're not overthinking, did I do that right? You read the rule book, you start playing and you never look at the rule book again. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you're not very engaged in the game the whole time.
Yeah.
So if you like those puzzly kind of games but in that cozy kind of atmosphere, then I think this is a great one to check out, and I do enjoy that, so for me, it's going to be an 8.
Yep.
That's going to do it here for Manatee Sanctuary. Once again, this is the Sea Cow edition. There are 2 editions of the game, so if your cover looks a little different, don't worry, we're still talking about the same game. Thanks for checking it out here with us today. That is 2 seal of approvals here, so a seal of approval from the Dice Tower. I'm Camilla.
I'm Zee.
And we'll see you later.
Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Bassel.